If there's one thing to know about being a Sonic fan, it's this. Sometimes it's hard. For years, the Sonic franchise was a laughingstock among critics, among casual gamers, even among the Sonic fans themselves. We knew things weren't great, but we still loved our Blue Rat just the same. But it got so bad that you'd see people saying that Sega should just give up on Sonic and put him out to pasture. But us hardcore fans, we always had that shred of hope that one day, something would change. And little did we know that there was a light shining at the end of that tunnel, growing brighter as the years went on. And one day, that light got a chance to change everything. That light was a man, a fan who became a writer for the comics, would soon become the main writer of the games, and bring us back to the glory we once knew. That man's name is Ian Flynn. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Z-Man Show. Today we're talking about one of my new favorite guys in the world, Ian Flynn. Ian Flynn has been a writer in the Sonic franchise for a long time now. From the Archie comics, to the IDW comics, the Sonic Boom TV show, and now the games themselves. And while he doesn't have anything to do with the gameplay, which of course is very important, he has almost everything to do with the story, which to me is just as important in a Sonic game. Currently, we are in a Sonic renaissance, which I'll be making another video about in the future. And I think Ian Flynn is a huge part of why that happened. Not the only reason, but a big one. You may not agree with me, but I think from 2010 to 2022 were the worst years Sonic has ever had in games. Not to say everything in between there was awful, and not that we didn't have any big hiccups before that, but that time period just felt like everything was getting worse and worse in some way or another. If you've watched any of my Sonic videos, you know the stories and the dialogue were big sore points for me in those years. And while I would buy and play every one of them, they just never had that same great feeling that a Sonic game used to give me. And according to a lot of reviews, other people felt the same way. And after the huge buildup of what Sonic Forces was looking to be, and the huge letdown it actually was, I didn't know if the series was ever gonna get any better. But then I heard about the new Sonic comic series from IDW. I heard it was pretty good, and I heard it was written by somebody named Ian Flynn. I hadn't heard of him before, but I was very excited to check it out. So I did, and it's good. I mean, like, really good. If you've seen anything on the Metal Virus arc, that had some intense stuff in it. Intense for a Sonic story, but still far better than any story we've seen in a Sonic game in a long time. That's when I became a huge fan of Ian Flynn. And when I heard he was writing for Sonic Frontiers, I was still skeptical, but getting my hopes up for that game's story. Frontiers comes out. Don't get me wrong, it's not amazing, but it was pretty good. And like you'll hear a lot of other people say, it was a really good step in the right direction. Ian Flynn's writing for Sonic Frontiers made me really excited for what was coming next, because things can only get better from here, right? That's exactly right! Next you got Sonic Dream Team. Definitely a lighter-hearted story, and only on mobile, and only on iOS, but received very well, and it's a really good game. But the big one just happened. Sonic X Shadow Generations. And I'm not talking about the game yet, I'm talking about Dark Beginnings. If you haven't watched the animated miniseries that takes place right before Sonic X Shadow Generations, you need to watch that. Animation, top tier. Voice acting, almost top tier. The writing, holy crap. Really top tier. If Shadow's story didn't make you sad before, the ending to this show sure will. So many people want a full series made from the people who made this. And guess who wrote it? Ian Flynn. Seeing that alone confirmed to me that we are on the right track with this dude. Then the game comes out, and Shadow's story is nothing but peak Sonic storytelling. We get more things revealed about Shadow, you see him interacting with characters you didn't think he'd ever interact with again, and an ending that ties up his backstory in a nice little bow. And if the ending of the game didn't make you feel bad for Shadow, you're just a meanie. Sonic X Shadow Generations came out to critical acclaim, fan acclaim, everybody loves it. Not just the gameplay, which is absolutely fantastic, but the story too, which is so awesome. Do you know how long it's been since I loved a Sonic story? It feels so good to enjoy them again. And any man who saves me from
Best boss
is a hero in my book.